Well, hello, this is Jamie Oikel of runningrestaurants.com. We're bringing you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to make your restaurant more profitable and successful. I've got a great one question with episode for you today with James Tritton of Quipt, which is an online equipment marketplace. Here we go. All right, James, buy versus rent versus lease to own. You guys know about this stuff for restaurant equipment. What are the pros and cons of each? And what do you think? Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about my favorite thing to kind of just sort of highlight or explain, just to make sure that this is understood. Renting equipment in the food service industry specifically, it's really more of a short-term solution. Renting equipment is great for when, say, a walk-in cooler goes out or something in the kitchen goes down. You need to get something fixed, but you want a solution for, say, a couple of weeks, that sort of thing. We've got excellent suppliers nationwide, and honestly, that's something you can easily find. But that's a great solution, renting equipment for that. It's not exactly a solution that you want to consider if you're opening a new business. It's actually going to become more costly. Renting equipment at length can be very pricey, and in the food service industry, that's probably not going to work in your favor when it comes to considering your margins. Leasing equipment is really what you want to consider in that realm. Leasing equipment is basically allowing for a bank to purchase equipment on your behalf from a supplier, and they're going to basically spread out payments of that equipment for a certain amount of time, a number of years that you've agreed to on the front end with signing that lease agreement, if you will. Typically, that runs from, say, 2 years to 5 years. I've seen it go as quick as even a year-long lease term if that's requested. But the significant advantage of leasing and why you want to consider it versus buying directly, or probably even more concerning, hanging it up on a credit card, is that with leasing, you've already established a line of credit with this bank when you put the application in and they approve this. That's going to now allow your capital, or again, as I highlighted, the credit card that you might have sitting in your pocket, that's going to allow that to be in place for the emergencies that are going to come, because they are going to come, as we all know it. So that's the advantage of leasing, is that you might want to get into opening a restaurant, or again, replacing a new piece of equipment in the existing restaurant. Perhaps it's going to cost $10,000. It might go up as much as $80,000 if it's all of your equipment. There's no reason that you should tie up your capital. Keep your capital for other enhancements or other things that you need to do for the restaurant. And then certainly don't put it on a credit card, because again, the credit card is going to come into play when, again, a pipe bursts or something back in the dish room and you need to get that fixed. So that's going to be your advantage for why you would consider leasing versus purchasing something directly.
Good. I appreciate that. That's a good distinguishment in terms of the use cases that make sense for folks. And then I'm thinking of a car, where you lease, and then at the end you have the chance to buy, or you lease and you're owning it, and for different things. Is lease to own something that happens in the restaurant world?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to take that and kind of shift it over to the rent side for an example. Within Quipt, our suppliers also offer some of the suppliers do offer a rent-to-own plan. So in that case, what's happening is that the actual supplier themselves, which is often, say, a rental house of some sort, maybe even a party event, kind of center, they're basically extending a line of credit. We have seen many customers utilize Quipt for that, where perhaps they put the request in that says, I'd like to rent to own something. But the first thing is that's going to distinguish that they're looking for a used piece of equipment. If you're looking to rent to own, you're kind of going at it thinking like, okay, I want to get something that's already been used for a little bit, but I want to buy it at the end of this rental plan. So you can actually put in a request for that sort of service if you'd like that. And we do have suppliers that do allow for that and do offer that. So that's one way of renting to own, if you will. It's not exactly the same as lease to own. The lease to own is still going to be that lease we talked about, where it's a contract with a bank. But with leases and on Quipt, there are two different types of leases that are offered. In both cases, and I believe this is simply the nature of what a lease is, it naturally does offer you the opportunity to buy equipment at the end. But what it is there's two different types of leases. One is a dollar buyout lease, and the other is a fair market value lease. And these two type of leases, both of them, again, offer that at the end of it, that you can buy the equipment. Now, a dollar buyout lease is literally, as it's called, you have the opportunity to buy the equipment for $1 at the end of the lease. So anyone getting a dollar buyout lease, you're traditionally doing it because of course you're gonna buy it for $1, right? So you're really utilizing a lease platform for financing the equipment. Now, all of the quotes that are presented to our customers on Quipt, they are designed as dollar buyout leases because that's what most of our customers want. However, if a customer were to say, actually, I'm not interested in that, I'd prefer to have a fair market value lease, that's going to be, we can offer it, but that's actually, a fair market value lease is more in line with what all of us are familiar with when it comes to a car lease. And that's where you hear about those traditional stories where I leased this car for 5 years and then I gave it back to the dealer and I got a new Corvette, right? You can do the same thing in the food service industry with equipment and through the leasing programs and through Quipt. It's not exactly how it's designed on the front end. You would just simply allow us or let us know that, hey, I'm interested in a fair market value lease, and we'll present those lease terms to you. And so quite literally, you could have your terms set for 5 years, pay on those payments for 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years, simply tell the bank that, hey, I'm not interested in buying this equipment at this time. Forgive me, the bank would have at that point given you an invoice to purchase the equipment at the fair market value. So as the name suggests there as well, the fair market value is what they're going to offer you to buy the equipment at. That's what a car dealership does. You can simply say the same thing as that Corvette owner said and say, you know what, take the Corvette back. In this case, take the refrigeration units back. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and just sign up for another lease and get a whole new fresh line of equipment at that time. And so that's perfectly acceptable to do too. So you actually have that as an option if you prefer to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's good. Listen, it's good to have options in life, and different restaurant owners are going to have different situations and to fit them. So I'm glad you guys helped them out with that. Where can folks go? What's the website address for you guys? Send them there, dude.
Yep, send them to quipt.com. So KWIPPED.com. From there, you can do a live chat with one of our 15 ladies and gentlemen that work on the team. We'll help you out, get the equipment that you're looking for. Also, our phone number is published there. If you feel more comfortable, you can just simply call in. You can ask for myself. I'd be happy to help you out. But again, we've got a team of people waiting to help you out in any way possible. So
awesome. Perfect, James. Yeah, he's rocking the shirt. I love it. Folks, that was James Tritton from Quipt, and you can find all about how they help restaurants with their equipment needs. If you go to the website, it is Quipt.com. For more great restaurant marketing, operations, service, people, and tech tips, stay tuned to us here at runningrestaurants.com. We'll see you next time. Thanks.